Hey there, Crystal Thompson here for Simon Says Stamp. Today I have a set of cards with the newest October 2020 card kit called Happy Fall, y'all. I wanted to do some easy and clean and simple cards for you using the components of the kit. For this card, we're going to be using some of the elements from the card from the stamp set Happy Fall. This is 6x8, so it's quite large. We're going to need 2 pieces of white cardstock, so you can go grab those included in the kit. I have all my stamps in the acrylic blocks ready to go. I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. This is a dye ink that could be used for a variety of techniques. I'm going to stamp down the pumpkin, and I'm going to stamp him twice. Then I'm going to stamp the pumpkin pie and the coffee cup. I like to hold the stamps sets down on the cardstock for just a couple seconds to really let the cardstock absorb the ink and making my image nice, clean, and crisp. So I realized that I wasn't showing on the camera, so I'm just going to shift it, but you get my idea, and we're going to come in and again grab that coffee cup. I have my Zig, this is my Koi watercolor palette. You can grab it on the Simon Says store, and I'm going to grab that bright blue, and I'm going to create just a quick background and then adding water to blend it. You can make it any color you prefer. I just thought it'd be fun to do a bright blue. It's going to really make the rest of those oranges and greens pop. I'm going to add some more water and blend. You can do this on the regular Neenah cardstock. You can do it on watercolor cardstock. Whatever cardstock you are using, this is an easy technique because we're not adding a ton of water. And, there's white cardstock included in the kit. We're going to let that dry, and then we're going to begin coloring those images that we had just stamped with our ink. So using the same colors, I like to do one big base color, let those dry, and then come in and add those shadows. It really makes it look a lot more realistic, and it gives that really cool watercolor look. Don't be afraid to mix in some browns into that orange. And if you don't want to mix directly on the image you see over in the palette, you can mix some colors right there. Our coffee mug is going to be red just to really make it pop and continue on with the fall theme. Do a little brown for the ends of the pumpkins and the coffee or the chocolate, whatever you want it to be. Now I'm going to fussy cut. I don't have the dies for this stamp set, but if you find that this kit has sold out, or you just want the stamp set, you can go get it from the Simon Says Stamp store and get the coordinating dies. I'm going to fussy cut this. I'm going to do all of them, and I'm going to come back and put together our card. So now everything is completely done. We're going to begin putting our card together. So as you can see, my watercolor panel is completely dry and ready to go. And if you use too much water, your panel can curl. So just add enough adhesive and press it down nice and hard so it's nice and flat. Now we're going to bring in the stamp set for our sentiment. So I am grabbing the sentiment from the Happy Fall, y'all. And then I realized that I should probably do my flickering of black watercolor before I go adding any heat embossing. So again, make sure that any liquid or anything that could be moist, have it completely dry before you go doing some heat embossing. I'm going to use the what is it? It is called Happy Hearts. And then we're going to do the full tummies because I thought it would be pretty funny with the pie and the coffee. And I'm using the Simon Says Stamp Embossing and Watermark ink. And I'm going to use the black heat embossing powder for that. And then I had mentioned earlier that we're going to do the happy tummies, but I couldn't see it. True story. Could not see it. So I decided I was going to add my black embossing powder, remove any excess, and then come back and add that bottom part of the happy tummies just because I wanted to be close enough to the happy hearts, and I couldn't achieve this look with putting both sentiments on one acrylic block. And so that is the reason to the madness here. And so don't be afraid to stamp. If you're stamping really close to something that you haven't heat embossed yet, just be sure that you don't rub it off and it'll be fine. I'm going to add just another little layer of heat embossing, and we're going to go ahead and heat set. now that it's all heated, look how shiny and clean it looks. Now we can move on to putting everything on the card. I've added pieces of foam adhesive to the back of the images that we have watercolored. And so I'm going to add one of the pumpkins and then the pumpkin pie and then come back with my second pumpkin. And you can layer on top of each other, below each other. And so it just depends on what kind of look. You can even leave one of them flat, and then that way you have 3 that have foam. And that does it on this one. Let's move on to our next card. For this card, we are using again the same stamp sets from the Happy Fall Y'all stamp set of the same name card kit. For this, we're going to do some Copic coloring. We are using the owls and the little, I don't know what you call those, little mushrooms and birds and pumpkins, and everything has been Copic colored. I have one of the cardstocks from the set. This is the Simon Says Stamp burnt orange cardstock, and I've added some of that Simon Says Stamp 110-pound white. And I cut it a little bit smaller on the edges to really let that beautiful burnt orange cardstock come through. I'm doing Hello Autumn, stamping that with the Simon Says Stamp Intense Black. You could also do some easy black heat embossing if you chose to. I wanted to keep it simple. So I have Copic colored all these images and then I fussy cut them. So we are going to layer that owl to the back of the pumpkin. So I add some glue to the pumpkin and then added 2 pieces of foam adhesive. And this little guy is really going to be the focus of our card. I have some black and white twine from, I don't know, just from my craft stash. And I wanted to make a little bow. And this little bow is going to sit in the back of the owl. So that guy is ready to go. We have the little twisties and now we're going to place him down. The adhesive of the foam is going to hold down the twine. You can even use metallic ribbons or whatever you want to use. I thought the black and white kind of made it pop. We're going to grab some foam adhesive sheets to add to the back of our cuts, and then we can begin putting those over and layering over the pumpkin. So I have added all the little foams. We are going to start by adding those really cool leaves that we have added earlier, that we had colored earlier with the Copics. And then I'm going to add the mushrooms. And if you wanted to do watercolor with these, you could do that as well, just like we did on our earlier card. Makes it super easy. And so technically this is kind of a mirrored one side of the other with all the little embellishments, but the beauty is that this stamp set has the 2 little birds ready to go that have, that are faced one way or the other. For embellishment, I added some of that mono clear adhesive glue, and then using my Studio Cadia embellishment picker upper, or whatever you want to call it, or you can use the Marvy jewel picker. I'm adding some black and gold jewels just to really make it pop. And this card really was inspired by Yana Smakula. I saw a card that she did with a different stamp set and I loved it, and I'm like, how can I create, it's a very similar stamp set, but it's not. It's a totally different critter and such, but how can we use one of the cards that we absolutely love from an amazing card maker and then, bring it to life with a whole different stamp set. And so thanks, Yana. I just wanted to give that shout out to her that, this card was really encouraged by her. Completely different, but I felt the credit that needed to be given there. Adding those last jewels, and that does it for me, guys. Thank you so much today. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial making 2 easy, clean and simple cards using the October 2020 card kit. Happy fall, y'all. All products are listed down below. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Let me know any comments, questions, concerns. I'll answer them best of my ability. Go get your kit before it sells out. Talk to you later.